What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of my rock review. Originally, this was supposed to be a live review, but I've had a very long day today. I already just got done doing the Outcast breakdown earlier. That was a very dope breakdown. If you guys haven't seen it, go to Speak Your Clout, tap in Outcast, it should pop up. Yeah, I just been in and out today and stuff like that. So I don't want to keep pushing these albums longer than I should. So I might as well just pre-record them. I figured, it's still gonna be the best quality. So the album I'm about to review tonight are Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Yeah, I lost the case for it years ago, but luckily I still got the CD for it. Both released in 1991 on Geffen Records. The last album I've done for them was GNR Lies. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about each album separately first. I'm gonna talk about Use Your Illusion 1. Well, I'm gonna tell the whole story about these albums. So fuck it. So after the release of GNR Lies, they kind of got some backlash as well as some popularity. They got popularity because both GNR Lies and Appetite for Destruction was very successful. But at the same time, the song One in a Million off GNR Lies basically was very controversial, and that controversy led Guns N' Roses being dropped off this AIDS benefit show in New York, which was organized by Gay Men's Health Crisis and shit. So, also around this time too, there was like a lot of tension going on within the group, most notably because it also has to do with like the drugs that I was using because almost all the members were into heroin besides Axel, and Axel, he was like, he almost quit the band because, he couldn't work. He couldn't really work under that pressure and shit. So, also, they also got to some more controversies as well because they had some incidents, they had some like incidents, where, um, during a show where they were opening for the Rolling Stones, um, they were opening for the Rolling Stones and shit like that. He basically announced that the band members could not stop dancing with Mr. Brownstone. And if you guys have watched my Appetite for Destruction review, Mr. Brownstone was just another word for heroin. And then we get into like a lot of concert riots and shit like that. And fast forward to 1990, they had started working on the Use Your Illusion albums, where Steven Adler, he was he was going through his shit with the drugs and shit. Sorry about that. He was going through his shit with drugs that while they were recording Civil War, he couldn't really concentrate while he was drumming and shit like that, and the bands that were losing patience with him, and he was fired from the band. But he actually sued Guns N' Roses because he said that he claimed that he was sick. He was taking like opiate blockers to help with his addictions and shit like that. Um, so he was sued the band and shit like that. I don't know. I think it was still out of court, so I don't really know what really happened with that. So what ended up happening was this drummer Matt Strom, he would replace Steven Adler. There was some more controversy going on as well because, well, actually, one more thing I forgot to mention. Dizzy Reed, he became a keyboardist. He joined the band a few months later and shit like that, and he became like the sixth member of the group and whatnot. The controversy happened after Guns N' Roses fired their manager Alan Levine and stuff, and they replaced it with Doug Goldstein. The reason, um, I don't know exactly why the reason he was fired, but I heard it was like a couple money issues and shit like that. And so, with that being said, they actually started going on the Use Your Illusion tour, which the Use Your Illusion tour kicked off in January of '91, basically January of '91, and they toured before the album was dropped. And they weren't like the only bands that did that shit. Because I remember reading that Led Zeppelin did that with Physical Graffiti. Pink Floyd did that with The Dark Side of the Moon and shit. Because these days they're so used to like artists going on tour after the album was released and shit. But yeah, the Use Your Illusion tour was very successful. At the time, it was one of the highest grossing tours. It has like a lot of controversial moments. You know, best known when Axl whooped some niggas' ass in the crowd after he was videotaping the concert and shit. So yeah. So with that being said, a few months later, that's when the Use Your Illusion album was released. So I'm gonna start with Use Your Illusion 1. So this was produced by Mike Clean and Guns N' Roses, of course. Singles album is known for where Don't Cry, Live and Let Die, the Paul McCartney and Wings cover, and November Rain, basically. Alright, so yeah, very nice cover and shit like that. The cover, where did the cover come from again? Where did the cover come from? I believe the cover, I wrote it down somewhere. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, I found it. Okay, so basically, this is the cover right here. It's like a painting from Raphael called The School of Athens and shit like that. And they just put like an orange color scheme. And with this album, it's basically the same as this album, but it's blue and shit. So just the only difference. So yeah. So I'm taking inside the booklet. Like that. And as usual, you got the lyrics and stuff like that. Got some pictures of them. Alright. So that's all the songs. I mean, that's all of the booklet. So let's get started. Alright, so Use Your Illusion 1. 16 songs. You guys should know what I'm about to do. Track number 1, Right Next Door to Hell. Very, very nice way to begin the album and shit. Very, really nice way to begin the album. According to Axl, he had written this about his then neighbor who accused him of assaulting her with like a wine bottle and a piece of chicken. Some shit like that, basically. So yeah, it's a very kind of like, it's that very dark, like a black humor kind of song and shit like that. I like some of the lyrics where he's saying some shit like, let's see. She was much too young and scared to be held. Freud might say that's what I need, but all I really ever get is greed, and most of my friends, they feel the same. Hell, we don't even have ourselves to blame, but times are harder and thrills are cheaper, as your arms got shorter and your pockets got deeper. Yeah, that's very interesting and shit. So, I believe she had actually, I think she had actually tried to press charge on Axl at that time, but the charges got dropped and shit. So, crazy shit. Basically, that's Right Next Door to Hell. Track number 2, Dust and Bones. As I with this album, you really hear like a lot of Izzy Stradlin singing and shit. And you gotta hear like a lot of his. He definitely does like a lot of dope songs in Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. And so with Dust and Bones, basically, he's the song's talking about, you know, struggles of maintaining relationships and how, you know, you can't trust women and shit like that. Very dope song. Love that song. Definitely loved Axl doing the harmonies on that song and shit. So very cool song. Track number 3, Live and Let Die. That's the cover of the Paul McCartney and Wings song. That's a very dope cover. I'm not gonna front. And one thing I liked about it, I think I like that more than the original and shit because when it comes to Paul McCartney and Wings, I'm not like really like the biggest fan of them like that. They had a couple of good albums. My favorite, of course, being Band on the Run. So this song, they kind of made it more like a more harder rock song and shit. Very cool. Track number 4, Don't Cry. That was a single off the album. Um, this is a very dope song. Very dope song and shit. Um, Axel and Izzy wrote this song. And what I got from this song was about just a girl that's about to leave a guy and shit like that. And it was kind of based on this girl that used to know that used to date Izzy, but she was attracted to Axel and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a very deep cover, deep song right there. And I love the video too. Yeah, this album had like a lot of dope videos towards it, you know. Track number 5, you got Perfect Crime. That was a pretty cool song, like a very hard rocking song and shit. Track number 6, You Ain't the First. One of my favorite songs off this album. It's definitely has like a very bluesy kind of song and shit. Something that you would kind of hear. Um, Something you would kind of hear maybe from like Stones or some shit. Like they were trying to emulate that sound. Axel and Izzy definitely did their thing, sharing the vocals and stuff, and Slash on that guitar basically. Very dope song. One of my favorite songs off the album. Next track, we got Bad Obsession. That song is talking about drug abuse and shit like that. Something very synonymous with the band. Very dope song. Very dope song. According to like Guns N' Roses trivia, Michael Monroe, who was the lead singer of Hanoi Rocks, he was a big influence on the song, and he played the harmonica and the tenor saxophone. Gave it a nice little twist to it and shit like that. Track number 8, Back Off Bitch. Yeah, Back Off Bitch. Another song that was kind of written about female that did that wrong. In this case, you have one of Axel's ex-girlfriends and shit like that. They had like a very tumultuous relationship from what I looked up, and she kicks him out due to his anger issues, basically. And yeah, very cool song and shit. I love the chord when like Back Off Bitch down in the gutter, dying in the ditch and shit. Like they just went in, they didn't give no fucks for this song, basically. Track number 9, Double Talk and Jive. Double Talk and Jive was written about how Eddie Stratton wrote that song about how the police found human body parts in a garbage can and some shit like that in the recording studio and shit. So yeah, it's a very like storytelling song. Um, and what they mean by double talk and jive is basically saying how people who say certain shit, but they would try to confuse the listener and shit like that. They're just playing mind tricks on one. So yeah, very dope song. Another dope song and shit like that. Not really one of my favorites, but can't go wrong. Track number 10, November Rain. This was a single. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was like the most best known single from this project. Damn, man, what can I say about November Rain? This is one of my all-time favorite Guns N' Roses song. Period. Like they definitely did their thing with this one. The orchestral background they had, the backing track and shit. The fact that he actually started writing this song in '83 just tells you how much time he put in his song and shit like that, you know. So yeah, November Rain, definitely a very dope song. You know, it's talking definitely a love song. Um, Slash's guitar solo, that's maybe my favorite guitar solo he's ever done for Guns N' Roses, man. Like, and it's so many to pick, man. It's crazy. Oh, and I cannot even leave without mentioning the music video, which very dope music video and shit like that. His then girlfriend Stephanie Seymour, his then girlfriend Stephanie Seymour played the bride and shit. They're about to get married. Like, there is a very cool video. Like, damn, man. Like, so much good things to say about November Rain. Track number 11, The Garden. That song features Alice Cooper. Oh my god, man. That's my favorite song off this album. The Garden, man, like, it's kind of, in a way, it's talking about marijuana usage and shit like that. And from what I've read about this song, when they were recording the song, Slash pointed out that Axl's vocal delivery resembled Alice Cooper and shit like that, in a way. So that's how, you know, they decided to invite him as a guest and shit. And so, also, I don't know why I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but Shannon Noon of the fucking group Blind Melon, he definitely did like a lot of background vocals on this whole album and shit like that. And he did, I think like his vocals is mostly present in like The Garden, Don't Cry and shit like that. You can definitely hear him and shit. Rest in peace to Shannon Hoon though, because he died from a drug overdose. He died from a drug overdose in '95 and stuff. So rest in peace to him. Oh yeah. So other than that, very dope song. The Garden is a very different sounding song. It's like a lot more melodic. Cause yeah, they've done like melodic songs like Sweet Child of Mine and November Rain, but this one has like a more different take to it. And I fuck with this song very heavy. Track number 12, Garden of Eden. Very cool song and shit. Kind of interesting how they have the Garden and Garden of Eden as the next track. I found that kind of interesting, but yeah. Track number 13, Don't Damn Me. This is another one song where he's kind of going off. Axl's going after the critics who bashed him for the One in a Million song and stuff. Yeah, man, you can definitely feel his anger like throughout this whole album, basically. Excuse me. He had another interesting, more better song where he was going after critics, but I'm gonna save that for Use Your Illusion 2. Track number 14, Bad Apples. Bad Apples, Bad Apples. That's another dope song where Izzy's blues influence surfaced throughout the song. When I first heard this song, you know, with the title Bad Apple, I thought it was basically about drugs, like temptation of taking drugs and shit. But it was not about drugs basically. And I guess it was just talking about how one would just spend, I think it's just talking about how one would just, you know, spend their money on materialistic shit, you know. Like you have lyrics like diamond and fast cars, money to burn. I got my head in the clouds, I got these thoughts to churn. Got my feet in the sand, I got a house on the hill. I got headache like a mother, twice the price of my thrills. Like, yeah, very dope song. Love that song. Very bluesy, as I said. Next track we got is Dead Horse. Yeah, that song was okay. That song was pretty okay and shit. Just talking about how one tries to rebuild themselves after a failed relationship and shit. Axl kind of played the acoustic guitar on this shit, but until like the heavier electric guitar dominates the song at the end. And the final track off this album is called Coma. That's one of the band's like most heaviest songs that they've done. that they've done up to that point. Coma is talking about how one self-destructs and at the risk of killing themselves and shit like that. And basically, it's kind of crazy too because I talked about them going through like a lot of drugs and shit like that. It's kind of crazy because Slash said he was doing the guitar. He did his guitar riff while he was fucked up on heroin and shit like that. And yeah, man, like, it's another dope song. Nice way to end off the album and shit. So that's Use Your Illusion 1. Alright. Now I'm about to Use Your Illusion 2, get that shit taken care of. Yeah, the difference between Use Your Illusion 1 is that Use Your Illusion 1 is like a lot more hard rock, while Use Your Illusion 2, they focus more like more piano tunes, more ballads, introspective songs and shit. So I liked how they kind of split that shit up. So yeah, let me get shit started. So track number 1, we got Civil War. That's like a very anti-war. That's a very anti-war song. Yeah, very anti-war song. Oh yeah, you can very cool song and shit like that. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the lyrics. Give me 1 second. Alright, so yeah, very cool song and shit. According to Slash, um, the instrumental was originally they were just playing around with the instrumental because it was made during like the Japanese leg for the Appetite for Destruction tour and shit. Yeah, it's just basically talking about like the trials and tribulations of how one does not need war and shit like that, and that we should all learn to love one another, basically. Track number 2, 14 Years. Very cool song. Um, that song right there, Izzy and Axel kind of share that song. A lot of people thought that this song was like a tribute about their friendship because at that time they had been friends for 14 years and stuff. So, but that's a theory. It's never really been confirmed. It's never really been confirmed really about their friendship, basically. So, yeah, man, Izzy and Axel together, man. Damn, very dope, very dope, very well. It's like them together. Like I know a lot of people want to say Axel and Slash, but Izzy and Axel's relationship just very displayed throughout this whole album, basically. Next track, Yesterdays. Very dope track. Very dope track. I love this song. My second favorite song off this album. Um, yeah, man. Axel's vocal performance definitely amazing on this song, and I love the black and white video too. Love the black and white video and shit. Next song is "Knocking on Heaven's Door." That is the cover of the Bob Dylan song. My opinion, not a fan of that cover. Just being real, not really a fan of that cover. I feel like personally Axel was just doing a bit too much with that vocal and shit, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. I much prefer the Bob Dylan cover original in my opinion, but to each his own. Next track we got is next track is Get in the Ring. Oh my god, man. Get in the Ring. Possibly my favorite track off this album. Well, no. My third favorite track off this album. My third favorite track. This is the song where he's going after like a couple of critics from Circus, Kerrang, Hit Parade, for like basically trashing them throughout their whole career and stuff. And by the time the song's released, Mick Wall from Kerrang magazine, he basically was got mad because of the fact that he got into it because of the fact that if you guys remember, Vince Neil of Motley Crue and Izzy kind of went at it because I think Izzy said something about Vince Neil's wife, and I think he kind of gave some flack about Guns N' Roses and shit. So yeah, very dope song. I love the intro of that song. Um, I love the lyric when he says, "And when you stay, you don't think I feel it, but I'm going to deal it back to you in spades. When I'm having fun, you know I can't conceal it, because I know you would never cut in my game. Oh no." Like, very, very raw and shit like that. Oh, yeah, because Mick Wall, he, because of his book, Guns N' Roses, Most Dangerous Band in the World, it basically had, like, a lot of interviews and stories about the band and shit like that. And the real reason why he was dissed by them because of the interview he wrote about the interview where they were discussing Axl's threat to whoop Vince Neil's ass basically and shit. Which yeah, it was a huge story back in 89, 90 about him and Vince Neil wanting to whoop each other's ass. Yeah, I put all my money on fucking Axl in my opinion. And I don't even gamble, but yeah, that's Get in the Ring. Very dope song. Track number 6, Shotgun Blues. Shotgun Blues, man. It 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 basically kind of continues off where Get in the Ring left off because it's pretty much talking about the same thing. You know, it was thought to have either been about the Vince Neil incident or just them firing back at the critics and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, Shotgun Blues, man. That was a very okay song. It's interesting and shit. Track number 7, Breakdown. Shit, man, Breakdown. That's a song right there, man. It's just an acquired taste for certain Guns N' Roses fan because they kind of went a little folksy with this song because they were beginning with the banjo. They had a banjo and a piano and drums and shit. And according to Slash, it was very hard to record, to synchronize everything. And Matt Sorum, he basically got very upset because he couldn't really synchronize the drums right, basically. So, yeah, Breakdown, that's a very cool song. Um, if you guys really into that folk music, y'all, that would be a cool song for y'all, but yeah. Track number 8, Pretty Tied Up, The Perils of Rock and Roll Descendants. Love that song right there. That song was written. Izzy actually wrote that song after I think he had like an encounter with a dominatrix and shit like that, and so he kind of wrote that song about the excess and shit. Um, yeah, man, very dope song. Very dope song. Very dope song. Yeah, not much I can say about that. Track number 9, Locomotive, Complicity. That song is a pretty cool song as well. Not really one of my favorites. A little bit, not really one of my favorites and shit. Yeah. Then we got track number 10, So Fine. Um, another interesting song because this one was actually written by Duff, the bassist and shit, as a um homage to Johnny Thunders and shit. And and from what I looked up, Johnny Thunders was basically Johnny Thunders was a singer from New York Dolls and shit like that. Very dope punk rock group. I definitely need to get some of their albums, but it's very hard to come by and shit. And he had died that year in 1991 from a drug overdose and shit. So yeah, so that was a very cool song. Kind of different. You got to hear Duff writing songs and shit. So track number 11, Estranged. in my opinion, my favorite song off this album. Whew, man, that rip, that da 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 da. Love that fucking song. Um, yeah, man, it's like a very heartbreak song and shit like that. Cause around that time, I think he had broken up with his girl Stephanie Seymour, and um, that's why basically in that music video there was dolphins and shit like that because at that time he was so heartbroken. He just said he didn't want to do a music video with any girls again and shit like that. So yeah, I'm sorry. As much as I love S String, that music video, man, him jumping with the dolphins and shit. It took me a while to get used to, but now I kind of get it. Um, yeah, very dope song. That's like really one of my favorite Axel vocal performances he's ever done and shit. So track number 12, You Could Be Mine. That was on the Terminator 2 Judgment Day soundtrack. Terminator 2, very dope movie by the way. Um, yeah, it's basically what I got from You Could Be Mine, man. It's a very hard rocking song. And it's basically just fit the description of the Terminator and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just mocking the potential suitor and shit. Um, and it's kind of crazy too because if you watch closely in the Terminator 2, he carries like roses with a gun inside of them, and that's supposed to be like a homage or an Easter egg, you know, about the band. To be real, um, yeah, I love that song. Track number 13, Don't Cry, alternate lyrics. Um, I prefer the original version on Use Your Illusion 1. That's just my personal opinion. And the last track, My World. This was you can tell this was some filler because he was trying to do that industrial metal kind of thing with this song and shit like that. I just felt like he just threw that song there just because to reach the 75-minute mark and shit. So, it's nice. Okay, now use your illusion 1. If I was to pick my personal favorite out the two, it would probably be Use Your Illusion 1. I liked how they were like a lot more nastier, hard rocking with the rock and shit like that. Um, I loved how they were a lot more versatile with blues, classical, heavy metal, everything and shit like that. They just want to prove to the band because they want to prove to the band they were more. They weren't like a glam rock band and shit like that. And I hate how certain critics want to say that, oh, they're glam rock and shit. Like, fuck off with that shit. Like, this is a very masterpiece of a work, Use Your Illusion 1. Excuse me. Yeah. And I love this whole fucking album. I would rather play this whole song. I'll play this whole album without skipping a track and shit. And you can definitely see Izzy Stradlin just shining songwriting wise and stuff like that, you know. Use Your Illusion 2. Now this is where the album is like a lot more darker and shit like that. It's a lot more darker. And, you know, at times, you know, it can be downright sober to depressing at times, basically. But at the same time, it was very political, as they were taking stances against like the critics, the wars and shit like that, violence, and it's kind of interesting hearing Guns N' Roses progress into that territory. Because a lot of people want to say that, oh, it's just sex, drugs, rock and roll with them and shit. Like they were going to enter the '90s. They were going to enter the '90s on a more better note and shit like that, bigger and better than ever. So yeah. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. Knocking on Heaven's Door, also on the Days of Thunder soundtrack that was released in 1990. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah. So if you like really want like just to chill, but at the same time think, I would listen to Use Your Illusion 2 more. But if you want like something like more hard rocking or in your face, nasty, Use Your Illusion 1 is the album for you and shit. Like this whole fucking album was very dope and shit. It was very dope. One more thing I forgot to mention again. I know, but you can't say too much bad things. I mean, good things about this album. In the thank you liner notes and shit like that, he basically said, fuck you to St. Louis because, like I mentioned earlier, during the controversial performance they did at the Riverport Amphitheater and shit like that. You know, they got banned from St. Louis basically and shit like that because of people rioting right after and shit. A lot of people got hurt. No one died. Thank God for that. And on a sadder note too, this was also the final album with Izzy Stradlin too on in Guns N' Roses because he had left the group because of the tensions that was going on, because of the fact that he was getting sober and he did not want to like be trapped with that environment again. Plus, you know, the Riverport riot left a bad taste in his mouth basically, and yeah, he basically left the group and went back to his hometown, Lafayette, Indiana. So, you know, the that's another reason why, you know, the Use Your Illusion 2 album kind of has a more sadder and taken shit like that, you know. So, where do they go from that there? Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned on that one. And as usual, this is Reg. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.